Welcome back to another episode about the new exploit system. In the last episode, we tried to complete a credentials needed mission and failed, partly because of some unluck and partly because of some bugs. And so I've been thinking about how we could perhaps do this a bit better, and I guess one of the things we will do is we will make some edits to the script we used last time to circumvent the bugs that are currently stopping it. If you watch this video in the future, the bugs will probably have been fixed and you will not need to make these edits. But until it's fixed, I guess we will have to find another way around it. So if you remember from last time, we tried to use, let's just show here, we tried to use these characters in the terminal in combination with the scripting, and there is a restriction on these symbols because they can be used to hack, they could be used for nefarious purposes. So they are restricted, and unfortunately the exploit system uses them. So the solution I came up with was that we need to replace these characters in our script. So for example, I think that we could be using just plus, minus, divided by, and multiply. And then just use these characters or symbols instead as replacements. So this is the idea. Let's put this in the help information as well. So if we forget which is what, we can just check here. So I will add -n. And then I will write, let's see, maybe we should do like parenthesis equals plus the other parenthesis equals minus. You can change it out for other symbols that work. Just make sure that it's the symbols that are accepted in the scripting. If you use symbols that are also banned or limited, this won't work. Yeah, is this clear? Like, will this be easy to view? Let's see. Then we have the square bracket. Maybe that should be like multiply, and then we'll have the last bracket, which is equal to divided by. So now we have like a help file which can be used if we forget which is what. Then just save this as shell and test it to make sure that everything is working correctly. Obviously it is, but you know, we have like, I don't know if I think this doesn't look very good, does it? It's not clear. Maybe there's a better way of doing it. Let's remove the first space. Let's want to put something here. Oh wait, I know what to put here. I know what to put here. Put a line in between them. Whoops. And a line here. And the line here. This is probably going to look a lot better. Shell here we are. So that is plus, that is minus. It might actually be even clearer if we remove the spaces I used. I don't know. You can mess around with this however you like. Just make sure that you have it written down somewhere, so otherwise it will probably be easy to mix them up and forget. Okay. Yeah, this is fine. You will remember them now. You can see which one is what. Okay, so that's the first step, and that's just the help information. Now we actually need to put this into the code. And these problems are only applicable to the value. So the memory is always fine, it's always the value. And so what we will do is we'll take value dot replace, and then so this is like taking the string and replacing something in it. So we will replace let's see here, a plus. If we type a plus into the terminal, then that will be replaced with a bracket, and we will just save this as a variable, or we can just use the same variable over and over again, since we're just overwriting it. So we will just paste this 3 times, so we have 4 of them, and then we'll just replace the minus with the other bracket, the times, and the divided by, oops, like this. And now, if everything is done correctly, we should be able to hack. Well, we might be unlucky still, but now at least there is the potential of hacking into the mission that we failed last time. So I am curious if it can be done. So I think I want to try again. I don't remember, was this it? Maybe. Nmap, is this SSH? 1.2, no. That's not it. Which one was it? This is weird. No wait, this was it. I fairly sure this was it. There it is. The SSH that we never managed to crack. Okay, now we use the scanlib again on the lib SSH to find out the memory and vulnerable values. And since we tried most of them except for the broken ones, we will now see if we can get the broken ones to work with this new shell method. I think I saved it, right? Let's just save it again. Make sure. There we go. And maybe save it the source as well. So let's see here if we can now use shell on the IP. And if you see here, we need to have port, memory, and value. So port is 22. The memory is this one. And the value is, let's take this one, for example. And so now we will need to replace this with a plus and this with a minus, I believe. And it worked. Unfortunately, it gave us computer, but the replacement of the symbols is working fine. So that's great. And well, yeah, let's try another one. Maybe this one will finally give us shell access. We'll do plus and minus. And finally, so this was like the first memory, and it was the third one. So if we would have just if this bug had just if the bug hadn't been there, then we would have been like in to this system very quickly. Okay, so now we have guest permission. Unfortunately, guest permission is fairly limited. I don't think we can do a lot of things. Like if we try to run the file explorer, as you can see, we can't really go anywhere. And what else would you maybe try if you get in here? You might try to like get the log viewer. I don't think we can use that either, or at least not in this way. So like how do we get the password file? Maybe we can cd into the password file, and we can. And even though it's somewhat restricted, we still have reading permissions for the password file. So what we could do is we could use cat on the password file, and this will give us the guest. No, that was what I wrote. The root password and another user's password. And since we want as much access as possible, we'll grab the root password. In the future, you will not be able to get root access this easily because the password file will be protected. But at the moment, this is a fairly easy and quick way of gaining root access. If you were to use it with the other exploits, it's a lot more advanced, even more advanced than it will be in the future. So I think I'll wait and not make any videos on that until the system has been more balanced out. So we'll just open a file, like we always do when we crack passwords. Save the password and decipher the password. And actually, we don't even need to do this because the mission was to get the credentials for any user. So we already have the credentials. Well, we're getting them now, but we don't really need a root password. We could have grabbed the other one as well. So that's fine. And there we go. Now we have enough to send the credentials to the and complete the mission. However, we want to check out the log system as well. And the log system is not working properly at the moment, so I'm honestly not sure how to what we could do about that at the moment. There are ways that you can fix it, but it requires some more scripting, and since I think this problem is going to be fixed fairly soon anyways, it might not be worth using any time on it. So as you can see, it says no log file, and that is because the system.log is completely empty. When you access a server with a shell like this, with an exploit, the exploit that we just made, it leaves no trace. However, when you log out, it leaves a connection closed log, which would normally trigger a passive scan, and the admins would catch you. However, since the scanning system, admin scanner and getting caught system is disabled, this doesn't matter, and hopefully the problem with the logs will have been fixed before the system is turned back on. So I don't think you have to worry about this, but you would probably need to use sudo and log in and stuff like that to then edit the log. Maybe you can do it as guest as well. I don't know what will happen in the future, perhaps. Okay, so we have successfully completed the mission. All we have to do now is reply to the mission with the credentials, which were root password and the password. Then the customer is satisfied, so we completed a mission in the new exploit system. Another thing that I thought I should mention is that we could perhaps make this program even more advanced. So many times we get what we got here, obtain computer. So it wanted shell, but it got something else. This computer could be used to complete some missions. Credentials needed missions, for example, can be used by just getting the computer. We don't need the shell. So an idea I'm having is that we could go if type of result equals to shell, then we start the shell. But if let's see here. Let's do else if. So this is like if the result is a shell, then it's gonna do this. But if the result is something else, for example, if the result, type of result, is computer, like you saw we got over here, we got computer, then we will do something else. And what we will do is we will do result dot file, and then we just grab the password file. So we do etc password like this, and we'll do like pass. We'll call it pass. So now we're making a variable, and we're storing the file, this file, in the pass, and then we'll just I guess we could perhaps just print the pass.content. So all of these things all the methods I'm using can be found in the manual. I'm just lazy at the moment and not showing you all of them. But like, for example, now I'm using file.content, this one, which returns a string with the text inside the file. So you can like find all of the methods I'm using in scripting in the manual. So yeah, we store the file in pass, then we use pass.content to get a string with all the information in the password file, and then we just print that to the terminal. So if we get a shell, then we get a shell and start the shell, start the terminal. If we get a computer, then we print the pass, and this will work. For example, if you want to solve, actually, we could make some more fun things with this. But this would work to complete credentials needed missions. But another fun thing we could do is we could grab some bank accounts, right? Well, let's save that for another video. But since you have access to the computer, you could, instead of selecting the password file, you could select the bank file and print the bank information as well. So there's a bunch of fun things you could play around with this. Okay, so let's save this and try it out. There we go. And since we already had a exploit that worked with a computer, I guess we'll just try that again. So it was the event pool. Let's see here, we can find it, this one. And as you can see, now that I ran it, instead of saying error expected shell obtained computer, it says root password and user password. So now this exploit will work to get you both the both shell if you need that for a mission, and passwords if you are doing, for example, credentials needed. I guess we have some more tools now. So the multi-tool that we are making, the universal hacking tool, is getting more powerful. Perhaps I will build more upon this in later episodes. I don't know. We'll see. I think I'll leave or end the episode here. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you guys in the next one.